coffee.
Now run away. So let's make this Q&A video. Grab yourself a cup of water. Yes, I realize this was the jar. Or a coffee, because it's time to have a chat. Hey. So today we're doing a long-awaited Q&A video because, you know, I asked for questions on Instagram about 5 weeks ago, and then I did a little disappearing act and had a break from the internet, but it's all well and good. Sometimes when you need a break and you're feeling creatively uninspired, you have to take a break, and I highly recommend it. I actually took 1 week off Instagram, and then I just was like, no, I just need a whole break from this whole thing because it was getting quite overwhelming and I was in a very dark spot, so I didn't want any of it at that time. But good awesome news is that my blog is getting redone. I mean, I rebuilt it already, so it is launching. So if you go onto my blog now, you'll see it has this construction page up. So it's relaunching on Monday, and my first post back is a Babe Vibes interview with my friend Kate, and it's so inspiring and so lovely, and I have heaps of Babe Vibe interviews lined up, like with Insta and Live Purpose, and it's so exciting. So yeah, you can subscribe to the newsletter Kindred if you want to hear when the website goes back up, because it's going to be a nice surprise. So head over to my blog and you just hit subscribe or something, and you enter your email address, and then you can subscribe to my newsletter. As a side note, my newsletter gets sent out every weekend now. I've changed things up quite a lot on my blog, and I'm so excited to relaunch it. It's going to be focused on wellness, veganism, and a little bit of style thrown in there too, because I'm not a 2D person. I am interested in many facets of life. But yeah, you can read more about it when it relaunches on whenever it's relaunching. Yeah, anyway, to the Q&A! I'm going to start with a question from Luke, because he's my partner. He said, you're stranded on a desert island. How would you look after yourself mentally, and how would you keep up your nutritional needs? And what would you be wearing at the time of being stranded? Well, I probably would just die, because I don't want to not be vegan. And if I'm on a stranded island, I guess there's nothing there but sand, and I'm not going to eat the fishies. So I'll just drink salt water. And I don't know what I'd be wearing, Luke. Comfies, shorts and a t-shirt, because it'd be really hot. Or a pretty dress, so I die beautiful. I liked this question. It was, how do you stay motivated? You seem to have so many things in the go. It's brilliant. How do you stop yourself from getting home from work and crashing on the couch watching Netflix? Honestly, that is what I do. When I get home from work, I have to crash out because I have depression and anxiety, and going to work is quite exhausting. I'm getting better at it through counseling and like learning more about myself, blah blah blah, but generally after work I'm exhausted, and I will take a nap or allow myself to have a break. And that's something that's been really helpful, because I always used to kind of look at it as being lazy, because in society we're always like told we need to go, we need to be productive in order to be successful. But just allowing yourself to breathe and have a break is a brilliant thing, and it's something that people that in society isn't kind of encouraged, because you have to be go in order to be successful, apparently. But it's important to look after yourself, and it's important to have a break as well. Plus, like I just had a 5-week break, but you're not going to produce any good stuff if you are forcing yourself to do it, and you need to find ways to things that are fun, that are just for you, so you don't have that pressure of like putting things out there all the time. And also just looking after yourself. Self-care is really important if you want to stay like motivated and creating and on top of your game. You have to look after yourself, because that's important. So yeah, that's my rant about that. I don't actually not crash out on the couch. A lot of the time I do. But one thing that has been helping quite a lot is Luke and I go for walks every day now, and it's been brilliant because it just makes you feel good, feel inspired, you know. And I also find it helpful if you put certain things onto certain days. So on this night, my one thing that I have to do is I have to redesign my blog on paper, or I have to redefine what Urban Wild is. Last night I worked on 2 Babe Vibe articles and like did all the doodles on top of the pictures and stuff like that. So I just set myself one task each night, because the reality is that I have a full-time job. I'm a video editor for a job, and it's important to give myself that break. My favorite way to unwind, sometimes I just become a blob. Otherwise, I really love going for a walk down to the park because there are lots of dogs there and I love dogs, and going for a walk on the beach because I'm a beach baby and I love the water. On that note, favourite beach in Greater Auckland. My favourite beach close to me is Mairangi Bay. Today we're going to Tawharanui, which is way up north, and I'm super excited about it. I guess Tawharanui because it's beautiful. I don't really know. I also like Muriwai just because that place is gorgeous. It's got black sand, which is different and interesting, but the whole vibe there is real nice. Any tips on getting motivated or being productive when you aren't feeling your best? I think the key thing is to just allow yourself to rest. If you're not feeling your best, don't beat yourself up about it, because this is something I do. I continuously beat myself up about not doing stuff if I'm not feeling like it, but then that just creates a spiral of worseness, and it just keeps going, and that's not cool. So you're not going to get anything productive done if you keep beating yourself up. So just allow yourself to have a rest and get out of your immediate environment. So do something that you know that fuels you up, not for anyone else, just for you. So like go for a walk, go to the beach. I mean, those are the things I like to do. Cook, because food is great. And just allow yourself to watch some Netflix if that's what you want to do. How do I stop being such a flaky person? Also, any tips for being a better friend? I guess look inside yourself and figure out why you're being that way, because there is always a reason for things, and you'll be able to find it underneath, like maybe something from your childhood comes up. So you might have something like that, like you're scared of being rejected or something like that, and then that's why you become a flaky person, because you would rather reject someone else before they reject you and hurt you. Do some deep thinking inside of yourself and figure it out, and you'll be okay. And tips for being a better friend. I've had a lot of friendship troubles this past year. Slowly my friendship circle has just disintegrated into like nothingness, and it's crazy how fast it's all changed. But my tips for being a better friend, I would say communicate better. Like, I guess this is from my own personal experience, and when I communicate my feelings, people take it on as me attacking them because I'm not really communicating effectively. So yeah, just communicate effectively and be willing to open up, because I know it's scary, but that's what builds better friendships, is being vulnerable and open and connecting. What does everyone seem to be forgetting to do? To rest, I think. To rest, because in society, I mean, I've already talked about it, we're all like, go, 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 gotta be productive. But like, why? And why are we all prescribing to this old idea of success when we need to find our own version of success? That's more personal and tailored to us, and in that way we can live a happier life. So yeah, I think people need to rest more. How do you edit your videos? I use Premiere Pro to edit. I've been editing on that for years. So yeah, I just use Premiere Pro and After Effects. And aside from like uni, I mean, uni teaches you the basics of things, but I love watching After Effects tutorials and those kind of things on YouTube, and there's a huge wealth of knowledge about it. So if you do want to learn video editing, you totally can do it, because I'm a video editor as a job. Sometimes I think anyone could do this, like anyone could do it. How did you learn to cook vegan? Well, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people think that veganism is hard. It's not necessarily hard, but it's just a different way of cooking, and it takes some relearning, because you learn one way when you're growing up and then you're like, ugh. Like for example, I was a shit baker. I was the worst, and then I became vegan and my cakes were amazing. So you know, it's just a totally different way of cooking, and you just got to practice. But yeah, I'm a big fan of YouTube vegan, and like, because there are so many people like Laura Miller, she's so cool, avant-garde vegan, blogs like The Minimalist Baker and all that type of stuff, good quality stuff, and they're online and they're free. I also have a massive collection of vegan cookbooks and ebooks, because they're really helping me to kind of cook in a different way. Because what can happen, and I think this is with everyone, not just vegans, is that you start cooking and then you learn how to cook a couple of recipes and you kind of stay in that, and then you just get bored of what you're eating and then you eat junk food. So for Christmas, from my nan, all I asked for, my whole Christmas wish list was just books, veganism books, because I just want to create, I just want to be able to come up, go away, it's a moth. I just want to make vegan food. Yeah, so I don't know how exactly I learned to cook vegan. I think I just watched a lot of YouTube, because there's a lot of resources out there when I first went vegan. So YouTube is my answer to that one. What is your happiest memory? Oh god, happiest memory. From my childhood, I got accepted to this private school in Auckland, and it was a really big thing. I was in year 6 when I got accepted into it, and like, to get accepted you had to do all these tests and interviews and stuff like that, and it was a big thing. One of my happiest moments was putting on that uniform, because I went to the uniform shop and it was like a little pinafore dress, and it was so cute, and I just remember like twirling around in it and being happy, and it was great. I feel like I have a memory of a goldfish, because I just forget things, and the past, I don't know, the past year or so has just sucked up my... Sometimes it's hard to remember the happy moments when you're in such a bad space. And also just like playing with dogs. My best friend for the longest time was my dog called Ivy, and she adopted us essentially. Well, she actually adopted my auntie, but then when, I don't know how she came to live with us, but she ended up living with us, and I loved her so much. And she had a litter of pups when I was in primary school, and that puppy, those puppies we kept. My auntie kept 3, my mum and I kept 3, and we also had 2 cats, Jade and Tinker, and I had some goldfish. I'm a big animal person, as you can tell, but yeah, I think just playing with my dogs, having moments, because now her babies, Ivy's babies, Isabel is my baby. She's my daughter, my fur baby, and I love her with my whole heart, even though she thinks I'm weird. If you could go back and give one piece of advice to young Britney, what would it be? I think I would, because one of my vivid memories, and it's not a happy memory, is when my parents got divorced, and I was in the courtroom, not the courtroom, but the court waiting room, and with my auntie, and I think I would just go back to that time and tell Britney that she is loved and good enough, and her mum is proud of her, and her dad loves her, and just like shower that little girl in self-love, because she's gonna need it. I have really low self-esteem at the moment, and like, I've gone through bouts of it before. I had anorexia when I was a teen. My first eating disorder was when I was 5, so god, my journey has been long. So yeah, I would just shower her in self-love and tell her that we got this, even though some days I don't believe we do, but we do. So those are all the questions. I'm gonna go quickly edit this video, cut it, and then we're going camping. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for asking me all these questions, and yeah, I'm really excited to come back to the world of YouTube. It's gonna be really fun, and I hope you enjoy it too. For now, we're gonna go camping. I'm so excited. So yeah, if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, head over to my blog. The construction page will be up, and you can sign up there, and then I will be sending out an email that says that the blog is back up sometime soon. Okay, I'm sending you all the good vibes. And once again, thank you so much for all the people who asked me questions. If you want to be in a Q&A video in the future, make sure you're following me on Instagram because that's where I tend to hang out most. Though I haven't posted since the 31st of October, just because I had a mental break and it was great. Okay, I will see you later. Lots of love. Goodbye.